It's lovely to see you, Sarra Laycock from Sequani. So tell us a little bit about yourself and then go on to talk about Sequani Institute. So it's not far from us, in the heart of Mercier Academy. Do tell us more about yourself.
So obviously I was born in Scotland, and my academic background is I have an undergraduate degree in biochemistry and pharmacology at University of Strathclyde, and I did a PhD in physiology and pharmacology also at Strathclyde. So that was my academic background long time ago. And so I went on, pursued an academic career for 4 or 5 years, traveled with that. So I was in Belgium for a couple of years. I was in the United States for a couple of years in academic organization, Catholic University of Leuven in Belgium, and New York Medical School in New York, obviously. And then I moved into a career that I had no clue existed. There was no planning in this. What I found out as an academic is I enjoyed doing science for other organizations. And as an academic, that is part of what you do, is you use the science that is unique to your organization, and you will do that science for other organizations, usually pharmaceutical companies. And I found out that I enjoyed that much more than I enjoyed the academic pursuit of spending a lot of time in the library. As I understood that that's what I enjoyed, I moved into what is called contract research organization field and industry. So here we effectively do science for other organizations. And in my case here at Sequani, which is based in Ledbury and has been here for 40 years, we help customers develop entities, molecules that are going into human use. They are usually medicinal products, but they can be something like an agrochemical, which you'll find in your strawberries from Marks and Spencer. So they'll still be ingested by you in nice small amounts. And we are understanding the safety profile of those compounds before they go into clinical trials in the case of medicines, or before they are being put into something like an agrochemical, which will be sprayed on your Marks and Spencer strawberries to make sure they don't have any other little animals on them at the same time.
That is fascinating. And so what kind of people do you work with on a day-to-day basis, or what does your week look like? Does it have a kind of set pattern, or is it hugely varied?
So I think that's part of the enjoyment of the job for me, is there is no prediction what I'll be doing. So I'm Chief Operating Officer here at Sequani, and that means I'm in control of all of the operations on the site, and making sure that we get the science that the customers contracted with us done on time and to budget. So there's a lot of elements of what we do here. There's a commercial, if you like, interacting with customers, customer satisfaction, understanding what they want scientifically. There's a scientific element, obviously. I'm working with a lot of incredibly bright and intelligent scientists from all over the world, who are understanding what the customer wants, translating that into study designs, and then executing those designs and gaining the information, writing the reports for the customers. And there's also a fiscal element to that. Of course, we're a business, so there's a lot of understanding costing, pricing, all of the machinery that goes with it, with being an actual business. So I think that's one of the great things about working in this type of industries. It's not just science. There's lots and lots of elements that are present. So I'm working with, it might be our facilities team on site. So putting in a new steam boiler to make sure that humidities are right in the facilities, or I might be working with a finance team to understand what our utility bills are going to be next year. That's topical.
Yes.
Or I might be working with scientists and a customer who have got a real scientific challenge ahead of them. For an example, recently we've had one for a medicinal product for one single patient, a child with a glioblastoma, and we had a very short window of time to be able to get that science done to enable that treatment to happen. So it can be really that kind of spectrum, and that's amazing. The kind of thing that is, for me, the advantage of the role. It can be anything. No plan.
That's amazing, fascinating, and also amazing to have a global company so nearby that's doing such varied things. And then I suppose the next thing would be for my students, what kind of things are you looking for? So my students are considering different options going after sixth form. So for example, apprenticeships or degrees, and what skills are you looking for? So at different levels, what would you kind of suggest? Would you suggest they should definitely choose one route or another route? And then what skills might they come with, or what kind of things are you as an employer looking for in young people?
Well, I mean, we're looking for young people who don't necessarily have all the answers. And I think sometimes young people believe that, especially when I'm speaking to them in interviews, that there is such a thing as a right answer in an interview, and that's not the case. We're looking for really very broad mindsets, I would say, not knowledge at this stage. We will teach you all the knowledge that you'll need to know. We're looking for curiosity, we're looking for drive, we're looking for determination, we're looking for enthusiasm. These are the things we're looking for. We're not looking for them to know the chemical structure of aspirin or the things that they've been tested in exams, you know, in basic biology, name 5 parts of a cell. These are not things that we are looking for in an individual. We're looking for mindsets, for a thirst and a hunger to understand and to grow as an individual within a bigger organization. That's really what we're looking for. These are not things that you're going to get by picking a particular topic. Pick a topic you love and enjoy it. Use these sort of mindsets to explore, to create, to question. All of these things are the things that we're looking for in an individual, and we're looking to grow and foster in an individual.
That is fascinating and really interesting for my students as well, actually, I think that's quite comforting. You don't have to have all the answers, and that actually you're really not being tested on what you know. I think sometimes A-levels are quite limiting because you're being tested on a set of assessment objectives, whereas actually from this step onwards, whether it's degrees or apprenticeships, it's much more about your willingness to learn new things, your willingness to be open to new ideas. In fact, you really won't have all the answers going out into the world. If you'll
know less, not more.
Exactly. And I think if you do think you've got the answers, you're probably further back in the journey than you might think.
Well, I mean, I think that's what all of us who are older realize, being that age.
Yeah, the more
and
I
we realize
learn, the less I know.
Exactly. So the more you know, the less you know. And I think that is the thing that I would encourage anyone of the age of your students to think about, is to just be curious, ask questions, be okay with there not being an answer. I mean, if you take something that people will probably in the pharmaceutical world think all the answers are known, take paracetamol. Everyone takes paracetamol. Everyone. Don't know anyone doesn't. Scientifically, nobody understands why that reduces fever. Nobody. So that will tell you that you don't have to know the answers to know it's useful. Nobody understands.
My mind right there.
Nobody understands why paracetamol will reduce your fever. They understand why it will reduce inflammation and pain, but they do not understand why it reduces fever.
That's very exciting. And so my students will be like, oh, maybe I will be the one to discover this. I can imagine
you
my
might
scientists.
be. And curiosity and accepting what you don't know and not being constricted by what you don't know are the things that will make the difference. They're not what you know, because it's what you don't know that's going to be the interesting part.
Well, Sarra, that has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. And if there's anything I can do at any point, Vicky, just let me know.
Thank you.